Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rupa Rani, and I'm working in IMT College of Engineering as an assistant professor. Today, I'm going to describe finite automata. First thing is, what do you mean by automata? Automata is an abstract machine that is a mathematical model. Automata is a self-acting and it's a Greek letter. It is a word formulated from automation, which means machine designing or replacing human beings with machines. In human form, automata is an abstract self-propelled computing device which follows a predetermined sequence of operations automatically. Simply, what is the automata? Let's take an example. Everybody has a washing machine in their home, and that is a system that works as a system. Automata is defined as a system where energy, information, or material is transformed or transmitted to perform some kind of operation without direct participation of men. As I'm saying, automatic washing machine is an example. If you press the button wash, press the button rinse, or press the button dry, what are these? These are the inputs. What we provide to the system. And after that, after washing or after dry, we get some output. It means it is performing some kind of operation. And all the process is doing without direct participation of man. And the automatic photo printing machine is also an example of automata. And second thing is what are the main objectives? Major objective of automata theory is to develop methods by which computer scientists can describe and analyze the dynamic behavior of discrete systems in which signals are sampled periodically. The behavior of these discrete systems is determined by the way that the system is constructed from storage and combinational elements. This is all about the automata. Next is finite automata. A finite automata with a finite number of states is called a finite automata, or you can say it is a finite state machine. This can be represented by a five tuple. We represent the finite automata through five tuples. There are five tuples: Q, summation, as you can see in the slide, Q naught and F. Q is a set of states or various number of states. Summation is a number of inputs. Delta is a transition function. How to perform the transition. Q naught is the initial state, and F is the final state. I will explain this through an example. Before example, I'm going to tell you finite automata can be categorized in two types. First one is DFA and second one is NFA. NFA I'll explain later. First is DFA. In DFA, for each input symbol, one can determine the state to which machine will move. Hence, it is called deterministic automata. As it has a finite number of states, the machine is called deterministic finite machine or deterministic finite automata. In simple way, I'm going to take a live example. What is deterministic finite automata? Suppose a person is standing in front of you and then you say turn left. This is deterministic. If you say turn, it means the person can move left or right. It means this is non-deterministic. If a person moves only left side, it is deterministic. If you say turn, he can move either left or right or on his back side. So it is non-deterministic because there are various next states. Now, how can we define it? A DFT can be represented same as in finite automata is also represented by five tuples. But there is a difference between the transition function only. First one same Q set of states, summation number of inputs. Now come to the transition function. That is Q into summation tends to Q. This is the main topic in deterministic finite automata. What is delta? Initial state Q naught and final state F. Now I'm going to explain what is delta transition function. This is transition function delta. This is named in DFP. Now, in the left side, you can see Q naught. It's an initial state. And when we give the input A to the initial state Q, then what is the next state? That is Q1. As I told you in example, in live example, suppose a person is standing in front of you. It means when he is standing in front of you, that is his present state or current state. And if I say turn left, what is that? That is the input, like A. And after giving the input, what you are getting? You are getting the next state, that is Q1. When he changes position on left side, that is the next state. In the example, you can see next state is Q1. Same in next Q naught B. Here we are giving the input B to the present state Q naught, and we are getting the same next state, that is Q1. Now I think it is very much clear to all of you. Next is how to represent DFA. What is the graphical representation of DFA? A DFA is represented by the diagram. And the diagram is called the state diagram. I am going to explain this with the diagram. This is the diagram, or you can say state diagram or transition diagram of finite automata. Now here you can see in the diagram there is a single arrow. This is initial state, and in the circle Q0, Q1, these are the number of states. And here one is in double circle. If any state is denoted by the double circle, it means this is final state. If any state is denoted by the single arrow or single arc, that is initial state. And you can see in the diagram input 0 and input 1. On the left side input is 1, on the right side input is 0. These are the transitions. There are 5 points I've told you in the finite automata. First, number of states in the diagram are Q0 and Q1. Second, I told you number of inputs. Number of inputs is 1 and 0 in the diagram. Third, transition function. I told you transition function you can see in D Q0 0 equal to Q1, which I told you through the example in the last slide. If we give the input 0 to Q0, what you are getting, the next state is Q1. Now, next is Q0, that is initial state in the diagram. Why it is initial state? Because it is denoted by the single R. Next is and final state Q1, it is denoted by double circle. Now come to the example 2. Here you can see a table. This is the transition table. A finite automata can be represented by the transition diagram or can be represented by the transition table. You can see in the example present state. Present state, a person which is standing in front, who is standing in front of you. That is his present state. I am denoting the present state by A, B, and C. The input, what instruction you are giving to the person, that is input. Here inputs are 0 and 1. And when we give the input 0 to A, to the present state, what you are getting, that is the next state. It may be same or maybe other next state. Diagram I've already told you in last slide. Now come to the non-deterministic finite automata. What is non-deterministic finite automata? There is a fixed number of states, but we can be in multiple states at one time. In a case, it means non-deterministic finite automata is also denoted by the 5 tuples. Same is in deterministic finite automata, but difference is between the transition functions. There is only difference between transition functions. Again, after Q is a set of states, summation input, what we are giving to the present state. Q0 is the initial state, and F is the final state. Now come to the transition function, which is different from the deterministic finite automata. Transition function, you can see here, Q into summation to be 2 to the power Q. What is Q here? Q is the present state. And summation is the input, what we are giving to the present state. And 2 to the power Q is the output, what you are getting after giving the input. I'm going to explain this through an example. First, takes a state and input symbol as argument, returns a set of states and state a single state as in DFA, and next Q into summation, current state into number of inputs, finding to the power Q, to the power set of Q. And next is, suppose I'm going to take an example of NFC. As I've told you, I've already told you the example of NFA. Suppose a person is standing in front of you. When you say turn, it means he may turn on his left side or on his right side or on his back side. It means this is non-deterministic because you don't know where he turned, because you don't know कि वो किस साइड घूमेगा, लेफ्ट साइड जाएगा, राइट साइड जाएगा और इसके अपने बैक साइड जाएगा. So this is non-deterministic. As the word non-deterministic, it is non-determined. And as in word deterministic, it is already determined. It means already fixed what you are getting in the next stage. In non-deterministic, it is not fixed. It may be any state, any next state, either left or right or back side. Now come to the transition function of NFP, non-deterministic finite automata. In the transition function, transition function of non-deterministic finite automata. When we are giving input x to the present state q naught, I am getting a output that is q1. When again I give the input x to the same state, then this is the q2. It means next state is now q2. Again, I'm giving the same input x. Now you have the output q3. It means there are different next states on the same input. If you are getting different next states, more than one next state on the same input, it means this is non-deterministic. This is the mathematical form of non-deterministic finite automata. Now, next is analysis state diagram. In non-deterministic finite automata, it is also represented by the state diagram, or it is also represented by the state table. Here you can see the state diagram. Initial state is Q0. In the state diagram, you are looking, initial state is Q0. When I am giving input A to Q0, what you are getting, the next state is Q1. Again, I am giving the input A to the initial state Q0. This time you are getting the next state Q0, same next state. It means you are getting more than one next state on the same input. So this is the non-deterministic. Next is the example of non-deterministic finite automata. This is the graphical representation of non-deterministic finite automata. In the table, you can see here the present state Q, present state A, B, and C, and the next state when we are giving input 0 to A, it is A or B. It means you are getting the next state either A or B. You are getting more than one next state, so it is non-deterministic. You can find through the table, you can check through the table, it is non-deterministic or there are more than one next state, so it is non-deterministic. Again, you are giving the input 1 to the present state A. Here, output is B. Again, second is present state B. When we are giving the input 0 to the present state B, output is next state is C. And in the next one, input 1, you are getting again more than one next state, so it is non-deterministic. Through this, you can check either it is deterministic or non-deterministic. But if it is non-deterministic, you have to convert it deterministic finite automata DFA to make it more accurate. DFA is more accurate as compared to non-deterministic finite automata. To find the optimal solution, you have to convert it into the non-deterministic finite automata. Now we can conclude with the above. As I've already told you about DFA and NDFA. In simply words, you can say DFA, which is already fixed, already determined. It means you know where you have to go on the next state. It means your next state is only one. You are not getting more than one next state. So it is DFA. And in NDFA, you are getting more than one next state. So it is non-deterministic because you can go either on one next state or on two next state. Here you can see the difference. In DFA, the transition from a state is to a single particular next state for each input symbol. Hence, it is called deterministic. In NDFA, the transition from a state can be to multiple next states for each input symbol. Hence, it is called non-deterministic. Now again, come to the DFA. Empty strings transitions are not seen in DFA because you already know where you want to go. It means it is already fixed what is the next state. There's only one, so we can't take the empty string transitions in DFA. But in NDFA it is not fixed, so it permits empty string transitions. And in third point, backtracking is allowed in DFA. But in NDFA, backtracking is not always possible. It may be possible or may not be possible. It depends on the present state and inputs what you are giving. Next is it requires more space. DFA requires more space because it is deterministic and there's no empty string. In NDFA, it requires less space. And last point is a string is accepted by a DFA if it transits to a final state. And in NDFA, a string is accepted by a NDFA if it at least one of all possible transition ends in a final state. I think now it is clear the difference between DFA and NDFA. Now, next is conversion. I'm going to summarize first what I've told you. First, I told you what is automata. Automata क्या होता है? And then I've told you about the finite automata. Finite automata is a part of automata. In finite automata can be categorized in two parts, DFA and NDFA. DFA it is deterministic and NDFA it is non-deterministic. DFA provide more accuracy or optimal solution. NDFA doesn't provide optimal solution, so we have to convert the NDFA into the DFA to make it more accurate. Now how to do the conversion? Here you can see a problem. This is the algo through which you can convert NDFA into the DFA. Suppose you have an NDFA according to the first point, then you have to find an equivalent DFA for the given NFA, for the given non-deterministic finite automata. And after that, you have to
Now, next step, create state table from the given NDFA. First, you will create a state table from the given NDFA. In step 2, you have to create a blank state table under possible input alphabets for the equivalent DFA, and then you have to mark the start state of the DFA by the initial state. And in step 4, find out the combination of states like Q0, Q1. These are the states. These are the combination of states, number of states for each possible input alphabet. Next, each time we generate a new DFA state under the input alphabet column, we have to apply step 4 again, otherwise you have to go to the step 6. That is the state which contain any of the final states of NDFA are the final states of equivalent DFA. Now I'm going to explain this through an example. This is the example of conversion. Conversion from NFA to DFA. Now you can see the state diagram. First one is the on the left hand side you can see the state diagram, and on the right hand side there's a state table, or you can say transition table. In a state diagram you can see here initial state, because A is the initial state. Why it is initial? Because it is denoted by the single arc, single arrow. So it is initial. It means I have to start I have to start to draw the table from the A. Now when we are giving input 0 to input state to present state A, you are getting the various output, various next state. First A is the next state when we are giving input 0 to A. Self state, it means when again I am giving input 0 to the A, you are getting the next state C, and next one B, and next one is D and E. It means you have more than one next state. It is understood that it is non-deterministic because you are getting more than one next state. And when we are giving input 1 to the state, present state A, you are getting the output D and E. According to the transition table, you can see here, output is D and E. So this diagram, you can make the transition table or transition state table. Now, in next, it is the conversion of NFA to DFA. Now, how we can convert this? You can convert this with the help of above algorithm, what I've already told you. Suppose you have an initial state A. So I'm starting with the initial state A. Now I will check what are the various input. What are the various next state after giving the input 0? Next state is A, B, C, D, E. So I wrote here A, B, C, D, E. And next is input 1. After giving input 1, what you are getting? The next state is D and E. Through this, you can fill this table. You will check the right side in the table in the initial state. You will start from the initial one. First, you write the first row through the diagram. After this, you will fill the table from the right hand side. Right hand side A, B, C, D, E. It's an next state. It's a next state. So you will write on the next present state is same A, B, C, D, E. You can see below the Q in second row A, B, C, D is the next present state. Now you will check when we give input 0 to A, B, C, D, E in the above diagram, what are the various next state? You will write the next state on the right hand side in transition function Q in 0. Through this, you can complete this table. After completing this table, when you are not getting any next state, you will write here 5. Through the above table, you can make this diagram. Thank you.